Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Gutsy. That was a gutsy performance by the Philadelphia Flyers to go into St. Louis to win that game in overtime. Listen, the Blues, they have been playing outstanding hockey at home. They are a tough team, a talented team. They have a powerhouse offense. They're great on the D side. And oh, by the way, their goaltender is amazing. That atmosphere was crazy. The Flyers have struggled on the road this season, and they came off of a 1-4-1 stretch on the road that was embarrassing. And they found a way to close that one out. Now, it wasn't as if this was 100% perfect hockey by the Flyers. They took some penalties. They took some bad penalties. They had to kill them off. They did what they needed to. They did enough. And without Carter Hart, because you lose him due to an injury and he's going to be out for a couple weeks, with having to send Joel Farabee down based off of a salary cap problem because you need to find a way to pull up a backup netminder, they were able to go into a hostile environment. And even though they gave up a 2-goal lead in that third period, they stayed together and they scored a beauty in overtime. Thanks to Jakub Voracek. And Sean Couturier and Ivan Provorov, too. They made good plays on that goal, and we will get into all of that. But before we do, how about we hear a word from my sponsor, SeatGeek? Are you looking to buy tickets to go to any game out there? What if I told you I can give you money off of those tickets? Because I can. If you want $20 off of your total purchase, you can use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page. That's free parking, free food, free beer. It's a no-brainer to use the promo code BROADS today. So as I stated, Carter Hart is going to miss some time, and it definitely sucks. I think Brian Elliott is a fine backup goalie. He has been great all season long. He's been enough for this team to succeed, and for the time being, he will hold the fort down just fine. I absolutely believe in him, without a doubt. You'll probably see Carter Hart after the All-Star break, and they're going to give him enough time to settle down, relax, get this thing ready, and get this thing fine for the back stretch of the season. But as for Brian Elliott, I think it's fine. It does kind of suck for someone like Joel Farabee because he hasn't been playing bad, but I will say this. Players like Farabee and Frost, and I know Frost has been sent down for a little bit now, you're starting to see them hit a wall. This is the NHL, if you didn't know. It's an 82-game season of tough, physical, brutal hockey, and it's only getting worse. If you haven't realized, ever since they started that game against the Washington Capitals and the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Bruins and now the St. Louis Blues, it's a tough sport, it's brutal, and it's getting even worse. It's getting to that part of the season, and it's only going to get even way more physical than it is now, but you can tell that the intensity has picked up already based off of just, say, a month ago. Just, say, 5 games ago. The intensity has picked up. Maybe that's just based off of playing tougher opponents and better teams in this league, arguably all of the top teams in this league. Not arguably, they are. But you're seeing, Joel Farabee hit a wall. Because I think the length of the season, the physicality is playing a factor. I'm not telling you he can't do it and he'll never succeed in this league. He absolutely can. He's very skilled. He's only 19 years old. He's going to be a stud, without a doubt. But I'm just letting you know, I think in this season, you're starting to see him maybe slow down a bit based off of playing against real men. And it's only halfway through the season. So it's crazy what these guys do and what they put their bodies through. It's one hell of a season. I know my body hurt. When I was playing NCAA, the season length was 25-game regular season, and then we ended up making playoffs in a couple more games. I think it ended up being around 27, 28 games. And my freshman year, I ended up having surgery on my thumb. I missed the whole first half of the season. I played 8 straight at the back end, and my body was killing me after those 8 straight games once I came back from surgery. So I couldn't even imagine 82 NHL games, and then on top of that, the postseason. But let's get into this one. They had a win streak going at home. They play great hockey. They are good. And that's why I take so much pride in this one. But I do think the Flyers took too many penalties, bad penalties. Kevin Hayes, when the Flyers were already down because Raffl was in the box, this is in the third period. Let's not all get jumbled around. Let's go in chronological order here so it all makes sense. We'll start with the first period. Falk ends up scoring a goal. The Flyers are down 1-0. Second period comes along. This is where the Flyers do some damage. Pitlick going around the net. He does a wrap around. It ends up hitting some bodies there, and bang, it finds the back of the net and gets past Binnington. The Flyers tie the game. And then Raffl, with a nice how do you do, puts the Flyers up 2-1. Now we're in the third period. At the end of the second period, though, Travis Konecny gets cross-checked right in the face, right in the mouth by Perron. Now, apparently Perron said he's sorry and apologized to him on the ice. We didn't find that out until Travis Konecny was interviewed after the game, because at the time I'm pissed off. I'm tweeting, you scumbag, David Perron, even though I know he's not. He's a respected player in this league, but clearly he is very respected. He ended up saying, yo, my bad, I didn't mean to do that. And some guys walk away and act like, okay, yeah, all right, buddy. Some guys have respect in this league, and Perron showed his respect to Travis Konecny. He didn't mean to do it, but when the third period started, because that happened at the end of the second, Travis Konecny, backdoor on that peeper, scored a wide-open goal there, and the play started from around the blue line. It gets shot on net. JVR with this one-touch tip pass, which went right backdoor to TK. It was obviously a play that they practiced. It was a beautiful, outstanding play by JVR that might not get noticed, but the way he deflected that puck right to TK like that, as if it's a half-tip, half-pass, one-touch, crazy stuff, and TK buries it to get his revenge. The Flyers are up 3-1. So this is where that penalty comes in that I was going to talk about. Raffl's in the box. Then Kevin Hayes puts his stick in the mix and ends up getting a hooking call. So dumb. Why are you putting your stick there? You have Raffl and Kevin Hayes, two of your best penalty killers, in the box on a 5-on-3. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. Stupid penalty. Stupid penalty. You can't put your team in a position like that. We need Kevin Hayes out there to kill the original 5-on-4 with Michael Raffl in the box. But stellar performance by the special teams, the PK unit. They kill that penalty. The Flyers end up taking a too many men call at one point. Brutal. They killed off that penalty. That was actually when it was tied. O'Reilly and Steen tie it up. They both score a goal. It's 3-3. Then they took that too many men. Insanity, really is. But the PK came up huge in overtime, opportunities left and right. The Flyers hit the post, but Jakub Voracek has a doozy. The patience. He holds it. He ends up ripping it past Binnington. But what I loved is Ivan Provorov driving hard to the net. What I loved before that, Sean Couturier in the zone. He pulls it out. He drags it out. He waits for people to get to where they need to be. Bang, they attack, and boom, dynamite. Game over. Speaking of Ivan Provorov, the dude logged over 27 minutes. Are you serious? This kid's a stud, no doubt about it. The guy is flashy. He can do beautiful things out there. He can also just play a sound defensive game as well, that he's so good with things that aren't so flashy too. Just the standard little things that people don't pick up on, stick checks and being in the right lane, all those little things, gap control, moving the puck first, just hitting the winger in the D zone to start a good breakout. But then he can also do unbelievable things. He has great skill. And I can't wait to watch this guy for the rest of his career. He had a brutal season last year, and he has made up for it by showing us, yeah, you bounce back, buddy. You definitely bounce back. He was awesome in this hockey game. Sean Couturier gets 2 points. Back and forth action, though. It was back and forth action. The Blues had their chances. The Flyers responded. The Flyers at moments had a great forecheck where they were annoying. They were getting to the puck. They were bodying up. They were creating turnovers. And you could see that, I wouldn't say frustration was setting in for the Flyers, but at one point in the game, it was 1-0 Blues. The Flyers sure worked hard. They definitely did what they needed to do to create some sort of spark, but they weren't able to score. It was about keeping that mindset. It was about not changing their ways. It was about doing the same things, because if you did, and if you bought into that system, it will eventually work. It's just about not taking that extra chance that could hurt the team, staying on path with what the game plan was, and they did that. And they were able to crack the code, and once they cracked the code, it was bang, bang, and then the Flyers took the lead. It wasn't just bang. It wasn't just bang, they tied up. It was bang, bang, they tied it up and took the lead. And how about this? You got guys like Pitlick and Raffl producing to score those goals. You got some good work out of your back-end forwards. And I'm looking at players like Bunneman, and I'm looking at players like Friedman. These guys are getting caught up, and what are they doing? They're busting their ass. They're working hard. They're making things happen. They're not liabilities. We're not just calling up nobodies, and they're struggling to do things. Of course, there's going to be moments throughout a 60-minute game where there will be a mistake. Specifically, I can throw one out there, that Steen goal, that third one. He started out on the wall. He ends up going to the net, and some defensive zone problems. But overall, Aube-Kubel, these guys that are getting called up from Lehigh Valley, they are effective players. They are contributing. They're making plays. They're doing some good things out there that are helping the big club. We've been waiting for young players. Ron Hextall would never call them up. He got them to this organization. I'll give him credit for that. But he was never calling them up. And now you're starting to see it in full effect. And whatever player Alain Vigneault seems to call up and whatever guys they seem to bring up seem to be at least having an imprint on the game. Like their footprint is on the game. Now, Freeman only logged about 10 minutes in this one, and I'm not acting as if he played the role of Ivan Provorov where he's 27 minutes, but I'm just stating as a whole. As a whole, it seems like these guys that are getting called up and they're playing specific roles for this team, they're doing all right. They're hanging in there. And we need that right now. We need that. With Oscar Lindblom having everything go down that went down with him, and I am praying for the best with him, absolutely. It crushed me to see him in that press box when everyone gave him that ovation and stood up for him. I'm just crushed because I can only imagine what he's feeling. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing that happened to him. But with him leaving, because he was producing, and with someone like Joel Farabee having to get moved down, and with Scott Lawton leaving, not now, but I'm just saying he left and had to miss some time due to an injury, we had to continue to call guys up, and everyone's pretty much answering the bell. Travis Konecny, by the way, going back to that power play goal, that was his 15th of the season. The kid is a flat-out stud. All-star, of course. Stud. I can't wait to see him in All-Star Weekend represent the orange and the black. It's going to be fun. He's just a great player. He does everything. I know I've praised him for this before, but he's a pest. He chirps you. He'll hit you. He's not afraid. He won't back down. And oh, by the way, he'll score. Oh, by the way, he'll set up his teammate for a sick pass. It's crazy. He's not afraid of big guys. He's a little guy. He's not afraid of big guys. He'll get in the mix. He'll bang with the best of them. The Blues are a big team. They're a tough team. They love to throw the body around, and you can see it. You can see it in this one. It was big team to go up against. And I'm proud that this team is now 3-1 against these four squads. When they came back from that road trip, what did we all say? Whoa, look at what's coming up on the schedule. Look what is coming up. It's going to be bad. It might get ugly. This can be a tough stretch for this team. They only answered the bell. The one thing, though, that concerns me is there seems to be teams that are not slowing down that are involved with where the Flyers are at fighting for that wild card team. The Blue Jackets won't lose. They will not lose a hockey game. Come on now. Lose, will you? The Panthers, they're in the mix as well. It's just so tight. And for as much as I don't think the Blue Jackets can keep it up, or as much as I don't think the Florida Panthers will keep it up, I don't know if the Flyers can keep it up either. At some point, the Flyers are not going to win every game against the top team. They're not going to win every game left on the schedule. And speaking of every game, there's a back-to-back situation, and the Montreal Canadiens are next. But the one thing about that one is it's at home, and this team loves to play hockey at the Wells Fargo Center. I'm thinking about going to the game. I don't know if I will or not, but at this very moment, I'm intrigued and thinking about maybe looking into it. I have yet to go to a Flyers game this season. I've only went to one last year, too. It's crazy. I grew up with season tickets. My dad had season tickets. I would always sneak in with, he had two, right? Him and his friend from work. And I was young enough to sit on his, well, I would go over his shoulders, and I would be too young for my own tickets, so I would always go in with them. But even when I got a little older and it was obvious that I could go in my own seat, I would still sneak in on them and go to all the games back in the day. Those were the late 90s, early 2000 days. But yeah, I only went to one last year, so I'm thinking about maybe going to tomorrow's, but I don't know. We'll see. I got to get myself to one of these Flyers games soon, though. With that being said, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and I will see you next time.